Hi and welcome. I am Gina from thefulldek.net or Guided by the Cards on Instagram, and I am going to be discussing the Eight of Diamonds since we are starting today, August 18th, 2025, the Eight of Diamonds week collectively. This goes until Sunday, August 24th, 2025. So we are all under this Eight of Diamonds week, this Eight of Diamonds energy this week. Now, ironically, we are also wrapping up Leo season. We are in the last few days of Leo season, and the Eight of Diamonds to me is a very big Leo type of energy, and I'll explain why. When we look at where the Eight of Diamonds sits on this plate, which is the life spread of the grand solar plates, and this is where everybody's birth card and their life spread where we can find it, right? So when we look, the Eight of Diamonds is right here, smack dab in the center, and this is a sun row, right? So it sits in the sun, and when we look at its vertical, it sits Jupiter. So the Eight of Diamonds is a sun Jupiter placement, which to me screams big Leo energy, big look at me energy, big confident energy. So those are the types of energetic blueprints we can get with this Eight of Diamonds week. And as we step into this powerful Eight of Diamonds week, right, with it sitting in the big sun place, we know the sun represents vitality, creativity, power, and the Eight of Diamonds is going to ask us to claim that energy with confidence this week, especially as we're wrapping up this Leo season, right? So as we move through this last week of Leo, the message is pretty clear that it is time to kind of like shine, right? Shine bright like a diamond. The Eight of Diamonds loves that. They love the attention. They can easily gainer it. They're an infinite source of power because when we look at the number eight, what is it? It's an infinite source. There's no break in it. It just loops and loops and loops. And I like to call the eights the Energizer bunnies because they just keep going and going and going. And that is what the message is this week. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep pushing. How bad do you want it? How important is it to you? How valuable is it to you since we're talking about diamond energy, right? So the success comes with consistency, with determination, with the ability to not give up, the ability to push through no matter what. Now, some of the low sides of that Eight of Diamonds energy is they can be a little too forceful. There can be some greed, that material desire can sometimes make them a little jaded in what their heart really wants, right? They have such a strong desire to succeed, such a strong desire to win, can be very competitive. And so be mindful of like that greed and being attached to material outcomes because that can be sometimes the downfall of the Eight of Diamonds. Now, when we look at the Eight of Diamonds spread, and we're going to go through its whole life spread, the first card that the Eight of Diamonds has is the Mercury card. And that one for it is the King of Spades. Now, a few things. One, this is what makes the Eight of Diamonds extremely intelligent and extremely knowledgeable. They have one of the most powerful cards in the deck, the King of Spades. It is called the God card. It is a very powerful card and it is a fixed card. So what that means is no matter what plate you go to, that King of Spades is always going to be sitting right here. It never moves. No one sits in its house and it never sits anywhere else. So the Mercury card, the first card for the Eight of Diamonds in its life spread is that King of Spades. So it gives it a very powerful mind, a mind that can really focus, take leadership, take accountability. But the other side of it is it's fixed. So it can be seen as very stubborn, immovable. Sometimes it can battle people with its words and its strength and how it communicates, and it can be off-putting to others. So just be mindful in your communications this week. There can be some power struggles with this energy, but this is a very strong card of setting goals and crushing them. Now, their Venus card, we're going to drop down right to the next row and go all the way over to the right. And the Venus card for the Eight of Diamonds is the Three of Hearts. This is what gives them that playful, childlike, creative variety in relationships and fun and that playfulness at the Three of Hearts. It makes them very social, very likable. I like to say that the hearts have that big Rico Suave and they have this heart in Venus. So there is a magnetic charming essence to the Eight of Diamonds. They also may have some relationship indecisiveness when it comes to where to put its love and attention because of the three in Venus, but it also gives them a multitude of creative outlets where they can express their heartfelt desires and also bring out that little kid in you. And then the Mars card, the next card is the Ace of Clubs. And so their thirst for knowledge and their curiosity and inquisitiveness is it's like a fire inside of them. They're a forever student with that Ace of Clubs in Mars. They want to learn new things. And this also can be a very impatient energy and impulsive. So be mindful in your travels this week. Slow down, take your time. This can definitely make you really want to go after something, maybe specifically some knowledge, some answers, some communications. And there is a deep wanting to dive into self and have, self knowledge. Curiosity of understanding self is a big part of this energy as well. Now, the next card is the Queen of Clubs. This is their Jupiter card. They have benefit when they're teaching, bringing some kind of knowledge, trusting their intuition. The Queen of Clubs is the mother of knowledge. She is here to be of service through her words, through her ideas, through information. They really do want to, bring forth healing and nurturing through, again, that club essence of information, communications, knowledge, thoughts, beliefs. Now, this also can make them a little impatient as well. Sometimes they want things now. So be mindful of that this week as we move through this energy. But being of service will only bring more blessings. Now, their Saturn card for life is the Ten of Spades. And I've always said that there's not very many people that will outwork an Eight of Diamonds. And it's because they have the workaholic card as their Saturn card. So their work is very, there's a lot of ambition here. There's a lot of drive. There's a lot of tenacity. There's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of I must succeed. And they're willing to put in the work. So kind of going back to what I said earlier, how bad do you want it? How hard are you willing to work for this success? How much effort are you willing to put in? How much discipline are you willing to put in to succeed? Ask yourself that this week and then set those goals and be willing to put forth that effort, and you will come out very successful. Be careful, though, of overdoing it and working yourself to exhaustion. The Uranus card, the next card is the Five of Clubs. This also kind of gives them this quirkiness and being very versed in many different studies and having a desire to see things from different perspectives. Being open-minded is very beneficial for the Eight of Clubs because they can be kind of closed-minded with this King of Spades, but this Five of Clubs in Uranus is saying it's okay to see things from different perspectives. It's okay to be open to different opinions and beliefs. And this kind of also makes them a forever student, a mind constantly seeking knowledge and constantly seeking information and constantly learning and wanting. Also, a big part of this energy is wanting freedom to travel, freedom to explore, freedom to seek more knowledge, especially with it being a club. Now, their Neptune card is the Three of Diamonds. So remember, their Venus was also a 3, and now their Neptune is also a 3. So there may be some indecisiveness when it comes to relationships, when it comes to spiritual practices. Sometimes they can feel a little bit scattered in their true deep desires. So, but this also gives them a lot of creative abilities, the ability to be successful in multiple different ways, have resources and values and opportunities. Also, I find with these threes, they're not afraid to take a risk. They're not afraid to experiment. And you may find experimenting in love and relationships and money and business, all of those can kind of fall under those 3 umbrellas. Now, their Pluto card. Their Pluto card is the Ace of Spades, one of the most powerful cards in the deck and the most powerful ace. Remember, their Mars is an ace and their Pluto is an ace. And so what this means is self, right? And also we know the Ace of Spades in Pluto can be death of self, death of the ego. So the Eight of Diamonds is constantly going through a death and a rebirth on a deep personal level because of that Ace of Spades and Pluto. And it very much is about the death of the ego and really diving deep into who they are, what they want, what their desires. Is also kind of connected to that Ace of Clubs in Mars, is another part of what makes them extremely ambitious, extremely driven, extremely self-reliant, extremely self-motivated. And when they do set their goals and they decide this is what I want, this is what I'm going to go after, there's really no stopping them. But they have to be mindful of that ego here. And then the reward card to that seven of heart or that ace of spades is the seven of hearts. So we're going to drop down again, go all the way over to the right. The Pluto is the ace of spades and the reward card is the seven of hearts. This is the card of spiritual love, unconditional love, right? The seven of hearts is all about seeing yourself, back to that ace of spades, as the source, as the plug. That all that you have everything inside of you. You don't have to look outside of you. All the love is inside of you. All the desires, all the passions are inside of you. They're not outside of you. This also is what makes them very compassionate. When they're on the high side of this card, they can be great counselors, great therapists, great healers, because they're doing it from this place of desire, of passion, of wanting to help and be of service of others. But it's also a very strong card of like letting go of fears, letting go of attachments, letting go of any abandonment issues, and rely on self, right? Again, an infinite source of power that comes from within. Cosmic lesson card for the eight of diamonds is the seven of diamonds, and they call this the millionaire's card. So the eight of diamonds has the extreme potential of being very successful, rising up to fame, because it sits kind of in a position of like, see me, here I am, big stage type of energy. And that seven of diamonds here, this is about being spiritually rich though, not materially rich. The material rich comes from being spiritually rich and having faith and abundance and prosperity, but that has to come from within. So this week, loving yourself, valuing yourself is a big part of this eight of diamonds path. Like watching those like swings that those sevens can bring. We know they're faith or fear, and there's not room for both. So having faith that everything is always happening as it should, seeing again yourself of yourself as the source of your own prosperity and your own abundance is a very big part of this energy. And also not being attached to the material is how you then tell God, spirit, the universe that you will always be abundant no matter what. Now, their cosmic moon is the five of spades. So this is also another energy of like giving them space. Don't try to suffocate them. They want that space to explore their feelings. Now, this can also make them very emotionally detached. The eight of diamonds is not the most emotionally charged card because I believe they have this five of spades as their cosmic moon. They need that space to wander, to explore their feelings, and they can have pretty deep feelings since this is a spade, right? And we know the spades kind of engulf all of the suits. So their feelings are there and they're intense, but they may hide them because they may feel that if I'm emotional, I'm not successful, right? So giving space, having that time to kind of wander, to explore, and that freedom emotionally and detaching yourself to the outcome is absolutely going to be key. And then the transformation card is the Jack of Hearts, another fixed card, but also this is the Christ conscious. This is the highest essence of love, right? And I've always said with the eight of diamonds, when they do things from their heart, when their compassionate side comes out, when their giving side comes out, when they really tap into that Queen of Clubs and that Jack of Hearts in there to be of service, the success will always, always follow them. They don't have to force. They don't have to bully. They don't have to strong arm. They don't have to be greedy. It's all about grace with those eights. It's a natural powerhouse of a card and energy that they never have to force anything. The right people will always be drawn to this energy because it's magnetic. But what are they doing it for? Is there a purpose? Is there a heart in it? Are they compassionate? Are they being of service? Are they uplifting others? Because it can get lonely at the top, right? And so when they're bringing others along and enjoying the success of the collective and working together, they actually open up the doors to having more. So very powerful placement, very powerful spread. Now, the other two cards that are connected to this eight of diamonds are the seven of clubs, that is the supporting karma card, and the queen of spades, that is the challenging karma card. So you see they have these three sevens, right? The seven of clubs, the seven of diamonds, and the seven of hearts. So one, they have to operate from faith. It's either faith or fear. They've got to have faith in themselves. They got to believe in themselves, their ability to succeed, to achieve, to have the success that they truly desire, and to really, their words hold weight too. They have very powerful words when you look at that King of Spades and Mercury and the Seven of Clubs as their supporting karma card. They probably have, past life experiences of being spiritual, leaders, teachers, educators, especially with this Seven of Clubs. And then their challenging karma card, the path that they're really here to embody this time around is through that Queen of Spades. And that is the card of spiritual self-mastery. So they really are here to master themselves, really see that all their answers are within them. And when they can kind of let the ego die, they really are here to be of service. All of their wisdom, all of their success, all of their accolades, all of their effort is not just for them, but it is for the greater good of others. Because as we know, queens are to be of service. This is the ultimate mother, the ultimate healer, the ultimate teacher, the ultimate feminine energy. So allowing themselves to receive, healing themselves from the inside out. That's why you can find a lot of Eight of Diamonds in a space of healing, not just themselves, but others, because they understand the work and the discipline that it requires to do that type of work. And then they want to share it with others. So as we embrace this very powerful card in the last few days of Leo season, before we start to enter Virgo season, where can you shine this week? What goals do you have? This is a very powerful week of setting those goals. What's important to you? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself? And how do you plan on getting there? And the best advice I can give you is don't give up. The eights are like Energizer bunnies. They keep going and going and going. And the more consistent you are, the more persistent you are, the more disciplined you are, the more success you will have. Now, collectively, we may see some power struggles this week. We do have an Ace of Spades in Pluto. They do call this card the Assassin because of the Ace of Spades in Pluto. So I don't sugarcoat these energies. We can see some death, some transformation with that Ace of Spades, because that is what that card represents. But again, no fear. We're only aware of the energy that is playing out, as above, so below. And with that, I hope you enjoy this very powerful week, the last week of Leo season before we enter Virgo season, and enjoy this Eight of Diamonds energy. Peace.